kann man sich ein bisschen ausrüsten und reparieren.
I have received word through the sons of Elrond and the wandering companies telling of your valor at Fornost. You are to be commended for your skill and daring.
I think we managed to slow down Agendaur's plans at the very least. But how have things been here since we left to find Aragorn?
All has been quiet. There was an alarm sounded at Budland shortly after we parted company, but it seems to have amounted to nothing.
I'm ready for whatever new orders you may have for me. Andriel and Farn have also volunteered their aid. How can we best be of service?
Truthfully, I would be happy for the extra hands. But it is clear to me that you three have a greater destiny. You may be needed more urgently elsewhere. So what would you suggest we do? I advise you to make your way to Rivendell. Aragorn will be eager to hear news of Agendaur, and he may have other tasks for you to perform. For now, the enemy seems to have turned away from the Shire.
Elrond's son suggested much the same thing. Very well. If that is your wish, we will depart for Rivendell.
Okay, nach Rivendell geht's als nächstes.
Gladly. You have but to name it. I sent two of my rangers, Kalarin and Lewin, on patrol along the Brandywine River. They should have returned long before now. I am growing concerned for them.
They are both seasoned rangers who have served many years in this region. We can be certain they have not simply lost their way.
From which direction would they be returning? They were to follow the Brandywine north as far as the Great East Road, and from there to make their way back by passing through the Barrow Downs.
The downs are just north of our position here.
Then we'll make our way north by way of the Barrow Downs.
Perhaps we will discover some trace of them as we travel.
You have my thanks. I know your skill as a tracker, Eridan. If Lewin and Kalarin made it as far as the Downs, you should be able to pick up their trail. Farewell, and safe travels to you all.
Thank you, thank you. So, dann werde ich mal schauen, was hier noch gibt.
Are you hurt? You look well enough to me. If it's healing drafts you need, you can get them from Maradan. I have a dying man on my hands.
Young Elrond is dying. But why? What's wrong with him?
Wrong? I don't really know. His wound is minor, yet his life is slipping away. I fear he is suffering from the Black Breath.
The Black Breath? What is that?
It is the power wielded by the Black Riders, the Nine Nazgul. Their victims are stricken senseless, and without aid, they soon die. I've already lost 3 men to this curse. Elrond is the only victim who yet lives.
But there is still hope. What can we do?
I hardly know. Drawing an arrow, stitching a wound. These things I have done countless times. The Black Breath is something I know only from the old rhymes my teacher taught me.
Tell me this rhyme. Maybe there's some clue there.
It was years ago. Let me think. I believe it ran something like this. When the Black Breath blows, and death's shadow grows, and all lights pass, come Athelas, life to the dying.
What is this Athelas the rhyme speaks of?
An herb, commonly known as kingsfoil. It has little medicinal use, though some find it comforting for headaches and other small complaints.
Then there is no harm in trying it with Elrond. Do you have any of this Athelas?
No, I have none. You'll have to forgive me for neglecting to lay up a supply. But you see, no one bothered to tell me that the 9 ring wraiths would rise up from ancient legends to trouble us here. If I had Athelas, don't you think I would have used it by now?
Ja, sehr gut.
It must grow wild somewhere. I am willing to search for it.
Perhaps you could find some at that. The plant is not native to Middle-earth. It was brought to these shores from lost Numenor, and planted in the lands where our ancestors used to dwell, including the Barrow Downs to the north.
My road leads to the Barrow Downs. Should I find Athelas growing there, I will return with a supply.
Okay, kleine Sidequest aufgenommen.
Eridon, my friend. It's good to see you alive and well. I'll admit I wasn't certain we'd meet again. But then everything seemed grim after the Black Riders broke through our guard. It was days before I could shake off the feelings of despair.
So, eine kurze Reparatureinlage. Aber das ist eigentlich noch alles ziemlich gut instand gesetzt hier. Ja, das sieht doch gut aus.
You're soon to be off again, are you? Well, I have a few things among our supplies in me.
So, zeig mal, was du hast. Ich verkaufe dir erstmal ein bisschen was. Ne, nichts verkaufen. 21 bis 20, okay. Und das raus und das raus. So, jetzt habe ich ein bisschen Geld. Und jetzt werde ich mal schauen, ob er was zu verkaufen hat. Jetzt ein Kettchen. Requires 14 Mil, okay. Erstmal bei den Waffen gucken, das ist das Wichtigste mit Abstand. Zweihändig. Einhändig mit Slot um 55 bis 83. Das ist noch besser. 57 bis 87. Hat kein Slot frei. Ich nehme das Longsword. So. Das läuft doch schon mal. So, mehr scheint es ja nicht zu geben. Und dann mache ich ein kurzes Päuschen und dann geht's gleich weiter.